Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of DEC Does What? I'm Sean Mahar, along with
Erica Ringwald.
And Erica, this is the start of season 3. Can you believe it?
I can't.
It is our 21st episode of the podcast.
The little podcast that could.
And it's doing, and it can. And we're so excited to be joined by someone really new to the agency today. Erica, who do we have on the show today?
We've got Acting Commissioner Amanda Lefton.
Hello. I'm so happy to be joining you as the podcast turns old enough to drink.
Exactly.
It's a great honor to be here to kick off season 3.
We are honored to have you on the show today.
Thrilling.
So this is our getting to know you episode, Amanda. So Erica and I obviously know you quite well from your long history, but a lot of our listeners are probably new to who you are and your role as acting commissioner in this agency. So this is our, introduction to you, and just, figure to start it off with a question for you. Like, what's your fondest memory of DEC, and what made you want to become the commissioner of this agency?
Wow, it is hard to isolate a fondest memory of DEC. It is really such an honor to be the DEC commissioner, and there are so many fond memories of DEC. It's really hard to pick one. It is such an honor to serve in this role as acting commissioner, and really, when I think back, probably my first interaction of actually seeing a DEC sign was when I was a little kid. And probably the first time I went to the Adirondack Park is the first time that I saw a DEC sign. But really, throughout my entire life, I feel like I've had such wonderful interactions with our public lands and waters. I grew up on Long Island. I'm a Queens native, grew up on Long Island, moved to the Capital Region really when I went to college, and have seen DEC interact and play such a positive role in my life and in so many people's lives. And then in my professional career, really a great interaction with DEC in many different ways. Really having worked with DEC first when I worked for the New York State Legislature. I worked for a member that represented parts of the Catskills. Then also when I went on to work for the Nature Conservancy, and so many important partnerships between the Nature Conservancy and DEC. And then also when I worked for the previous governor as the first assistant secretary for energy and environment, and finally for the Biden-Harris administration, to really just see the breadth of work of the amazing things that this team does. I've lost sight of the question, which was, what was my first positive interaction? But I guess I'm saying that there are just so many and too many to count.
Amanda, recognizing sort of your history, working in the legislature and then the Nature Conservancy and obviously for the former administration, what are some of your conservation ethics, and what drives you as, from a conservation standpoint to really make the changes in the environment that we want to see?
I think the first thing that always sits with me, of course, is that we talk about the environment like it's some other thing, but it's actually like what we interact with on a daily basis, right? I mean, it is like actually just foundational to our communities, to our public health, to who we are. We all need access to clean air and clean water. We all have, such important positive interactions with public open spaces. And really my feeling about the environment is that it is just so critical and foundational to just everything that we do. It's not something else, but it's ingrained in everything. And so, as I really approach this job and think about that, and our jobs as stewards of New York's environment, that's such an incredible, important responsibility for us to ensure that we're really uplifting and upholding our focus on delivering clean air and clean water, on delivering open spaces for people to recreate, on ensuring that we are cleaning up historic waste, right, and presenting new opportunities for economic growth. It is such a critical piece that is so involved in everything that we do, and that's why this work is so important.
So, Amanda, you talked a little bit about some of your roles prior to coming to DEC. Can you tell us about a project or an initiative that you worked on that is particularly meaningful to you, sort of in the world of safeguarding our natural resources?
Yeah, there are several times. I mean, one piece, I remember reflecting one day, I worked at a policy level for some time, right, on policy. And that's sort of, not always so tangible where you touch and feel policy. Sure. And there are a couple of moments where, you really sort of saw or felt. There's one moment that I remember when I did work on the state's plastic bag ban. And it was a really funny moment when I realized for the first time, I'm like, oh, that applies to me, right? Like, the first time I was in the grocery
Yep.
store being like, oh, yeah, okay, this is something I have to comply with, right? Not something for somebody else. And that was a really funny interaction. And then another thing just broadly, I was for so long worked on supporting environmental funding, right? I mean, we need the resources in order to carry out what we do. And, it's so great that there's a requirement that says if you're spending the EPF, there's signage about it, right? And going out and seeing sort of all across the state how the Environmental Protection Fund touches down and you sort of see the fruits of your labor. And then even to the very basics, right, of having worked on land conservation and actually really seeing these beautiful, amazing places actually be protected. And, something I was so thrilled is when we cut the deal on Follinsby, which was before I was here, but having gone to Follinsby and seeing that really incredible place and understanding just why you have to manage that in a unique way and what an asset that is to the state of New York. I mean, what a wonderful, tangible thing that you can touch and feel, and now the public can too.
Yeah, it's a pretty magical place. I got to go out there last summer.
Oh, that's
Lucky.
amazing. It's beautiful. You haven't been there yet,
I
John?
have not been there.
Yeah,
Oh, you have to go. It's
I
amazing.
left with a tick. A tick joined me after my
Really?
visit. Yes.
Oh.
Nature loves you, Erica.
Yes, it sure does. That was fun.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear you got a tick, Sean. You got to get out there.
I know. I'm looking forward to
I
it.
think it's even more beautiful than Boreas.
It's pretty amazing.
It is really gorgeous. Have you all been to Boreas?
I have not yet either.
Nope.
Okay, we need to take field trips.
Yes.
You guys need to
More
come
field
out.
trips.
More field trips.
More
You got to
field
see
trips.
these amazing, beautiful
I
places.
think our field trips have been more to like Superfund sites and things like that. But
Which are also
Which are
super
great.
fun. I
Yep.
you know what? I really enjoyed going right over to the Schenectady Harbor, right?
Yeah,
And
that was
seeing
cool.
that incredible redevelopment project.
Yeah.
Like how amazing the
Transforming
Superfund is, right?
communities.
That you can transform a community like that. Our Brownfields program, our Superfund programs, these are programs that really touch communities in a real way and have a huge impact.
Yep.
So also super cool, but you guys also need to go out to nature as well.
we
Absolutely.
will. And the governor obviously has a Get Offline and Get Outside initiative, and Spring has sprung here in New York. So, Amanda, where are some of the places that you like to get offline and get outside?
Well, first I want to tell a story of how last week I went out to Region 7. And it was very impressive that Dareth was able to convince two bald eagles to actually have a little bit of a tussle over a fish.
Ooh.
So I went out to the Onondaga Lake Visitor Center, which is going to be a really thrilling addition to the DEC infrastructure and resources that we have. And we're just sort of sitting there looking out to the water, and suddenly a bald eagle dives into the water, grabs a fish. It was a juvenile. And then somehow a smaller, mature bald eagle came in, and they wrestled in midair for this fish, which then dropped into the water, and nobody won, sadly, that day. But it was like a National
I guess maybe the
Geographic
fish
video
won.
happening. I mean, those talons are pretty strong. I don't know. I don't know how the fish survived. But just talking about it, taking field trips reminded me of just even in the last month, the great places that I've been able to get out to already. So, Sean, you just asked me about some of my favorite places to recreate. I make a point every single year to do the following 3 things, and I try not to make it the only 3 things that I do, but life gets in the way, and I make sure that I at least check these 3 things off my list. One is I have really fallen in love with hiking during the winter. I just love being out in the woods after a fresh snowfall, a lot less people on the trail. I like that isolation, the quiet. It is really beautiful. So many great places to go hiking in the winter, but I tend to go in the lower Adirondacks because it's closer to where I live. Every year on my birthday, I hike a high peak. And every year since I was a little kid, I've gone to the beach with my family, all in New York. I will admit it is Fire Island that I go with my family every year, my whole life, which is a beautiful place to visit. And those are the 3 recreational things that I do no matter what every year, but I try to do a lot more than that. Those are my in-state my in-state focus.
That's awesome.
Where do you guys recreate?
I get up to the Adirondacks at least once, if not 2 or 3 times in my personal life. My kids go to camp in the western half of the park in the Adirondacks.
Like where? Like near Old Forge or like where?
It's outside Lowville.
Oh, sure.
So it's
Lowville.
It is Lowville.
All right, so I'm just going to say I have called it Lowville while there and have been corrected. And I can't tell.
Is that true?
It is true. I can't tell if that is just somebody recognizing my outsider status and trying to make me feel stupid, which they have succeeded in.
I think we need to consult the region on this.
I'm going to ask Judy.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Judy Drabicki.
Okay, that's a
and
good
she
idea.
will tell me honest and true
She will.
how to say it. Anyway,
you can count on her to tell you honest and true.
My kids go to a camp. They've been going there since they were little. It's Sleepaway. It's an awesome, magical spot. So we're up there a couple of times every summer. I've made that drive many a time. Also spend some time on Lake Clear pretty regularly. And this summer, we're going to be on Osgood Pond outside Paul Smith's at the White Pine Camp, which is a pretty amazing place where you can still rent cottages that are part of this former great camp on Osgood Pond.
That sounds amazing.
Yes.
That's going to be beautiful.
And I'll just say I love New York in the summertime, always from Saratoga Lake, where I grew up, and spending a lot of time there, to going out western New York on the Great Lakes and even downstate, Long Island beaches, as you said. There's just so much to offer in New York, and I just love exploring new places that I haven't been to, just to get that full flavor and experience of New York.
And that's the best part about New York, right? Just the diversity of landscapes that we have to discover. I mean, it is awesome.
So, Commissioner, we are entering Earth Week here in New York, and Earth Day is upon us. What are some of your reflections on Earth Day in general, and like how does that drive you as a conservationist?
Well, I think Earth Day is a great way for the general public to interact with the environment and to think about their contributions to themselves being good stewards of the environment. But of course, for us at DEC, and I should hope for everyone, really Earth Day is every day, right? Being a steward of our natural resources and making sure that we as individuals are really taking all the efforts that we can for a more sustainable world is something that we want to make sure that people understand they should be doing in every day of their lives. So Earth Day is a great day to remind people of that great opportunity to be good stewards for our environment every day.
So staying focused too, you talked about environmental funding and, sort of your history with the Environmental Protection Fund. And now you're coming into the agency at a time where we have a historic opportunity with the $4.2 billion Environmental Bond Act. How excited are you for really realizing this? And what are some of your early priorities as you take a look at where we're going to spend this funding?
I mean, first, it's just really incredible to think about where we are, right? A $400 million EPF, now another $500 million for clean water infrastructure, getting us in total to $6 billion, and a $4.2 billion bond act. I mean, what an incredible opportunity to really have some transformational outcomes for New Yorkers all across the state. And I think especially now we know, right, we're already feeling the impacts of climate change. We are everywhere in every corner of the state. And I think in particular, we've had this important focus on how we are going to increase our resilience to increase flooding events. And being at the helm of DEC as now we are driving forward with implementing a bond act that can actually help reduce risks to communities, while also ensuring that we're having multiple benefits, whether it's habitat, it's connectivity, and really thinking about how nature-based solutions can help play a role in reducing risks to communities. That is a thrilling opportunity for us to achieve multiple outcomes really through one program, one big, massive $4.2 billion program. So it's just so important, and the team has done such incredible work in really making sure that these programs are shaped to get those multiple benefits.
With a lot of input from the affected communities, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that has been really a critical piece of this, that we solicited that input from communities across the state, other stakeholders, to really see where their priorities lie and how we can best invest those dollars.
which is so important, right? Because local governments, communities, right? These are the folks that are really on the ground, seeing the challenges,
Yep.
having these priorities, and making sure that we are shaping things in partnership with them so that we can ensure success. That's going to be huge at the end of the day to make sure that these dollars get spent appropriately.
It's been a few weeks now. I want to hear from you. What are what is the greatest thing that you've discovered since you've come under the DEC umbrella? What is the most sort of surprising thing? Who is the person that you've met, one of our many, many experts, who you were like, I didn't know we had somebody who did that. That's pretty cool.
Well, Erica, as I reflect on the last 5 weeks here, I mean, one, it is not at all surprising, but wonderful to reaffirm just how incredible the team is. Right? We have just such exceptional folks that have just such an incredible breadth of expertise all across the state. And to really see the team in action, that's been amazing. And, the first week on this job, of course, there was a fire on Long Island. It was about 400 acres. And seeing our forest rangers jump into action, their command of the situation, the calmness was really just humbling, right? Just to see, the team at work. Additionally, sort of seeing how meaningful it was for the community for us to be there and just how impactful DEC is.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really meaningful experience to see firsthand, to see my first week, to see how important the work that we do is in a different way than I had interacted with the department before.
Right.
So that was really neat and really meaningful in shaping my perspective on the agency. Additionally, the other thing that I really have reflected on quite a bit is just the really wonderful cohesion of the different functions in the region, right? And how it's a really meaningful place for everybody to sort of come together around shared outcomes in that particular unique environment. And that has been something that I've sort of seen in every region that I've visited so far, though I still have 3 more to go, but I'm gonna guess it's gonna be the same in the last 3 regions that I visit with as well. And boy, I would say that there's not yet a function that I'm surprised that we have on board. But something I have been really impressed by is how much our operations team does.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, do they do an incredible amount of work that things we sort of already know, right? In making sure that vehicles are maintained or sort of taking care of our office spaces, but really to just think of, the amount of land that we manage, our fishing access sites, everything that we do. And the fact that our operations team is not only taking care of that, but sometimes they're just building bridges, right? Or
Yeah.
it's just kind of incredible what they pull off and what they do. And just to think about all of the assets that team maintains, that has been eye-opening.
And definitely check out our website for all the career opportunities that you can see. New York Helps has been a big opportunity to really drive the next generation of the workforce that we need here at DEC. So I know our ops folks are looking for people. So listeners out here, if you're looking to join our team, please check out our website and see what those opportunities are.
It's such a cool job to be out there and to really be making a difference and having our operations team provide these really great opportunities for the public, as well as obviously making sure that we can all function and do our jobs. The ops team is incredible.
So we talked funding, we've talked climate resilience. What are some of the other things that are on your agenda in the short term as you take the helm here at DEC?
Well, first things first, as I said already, we have such an incredible breadth of expertise here at the agency. We want to make sure that people are motivated and empowered to do their jobs, right? So really focusing on us as a team and ensuring that we are able to be successful and that our teams are well supported and empowered. That is really the most important priority, because without that, we can't do anything. From a policy perspective, we have so many important things in the budget, right? We know we have such a great opportunity to make our land acquisition process more efficient. So getting our title insurance changes done or some resolution to ensure that we can support our land acquisition program well. And then we've already talked about just how meaningful the Superfund program is. So that reauthorization is so crucial for us to continue to deliver and allow for those redevelopment opportunities. So we want to make sure that we're successful in the budget and finally, of course, getting that increase to our resources. The next thing that's really top of mind for me, of course, is that, there are very significant challenges at the federal level right now. And we are navigating a lot of uncertainty and a lot of incoming from the federal government. So top priority has to be ensuring that not only are we able to continue to do our job, but that New York stands up and is a leader of the environment across the nation. Now more than ever, the work of this team and what we do is so important, right? When it's under attack at the federal level and those challenges are happening, ensuring that we continue to lead and not just that we are defending our turf, but also standing up and pushing forward and being ambitious in the face of these challenges. That is so critical, and we need to be able to continue to fight and lead, and we will. And then finally, we talked climate resilience, of course. We also need to make sure we're continuing to deliver clean air and clean water to communities all across the state. This is foundational and so important. So really ensuring that we are continuing to carry out our core work. And again, especially in the face of potential rollbacks on the federal level.
Is there something that you'd like the team at DEC to know about you that we haven't covered already?
I feel being here at DEC is it's a dream job. I have had this awesome career where I've been able to work for non-for-profits. I've been able to work in state government. I've been able to work in federal government. I've worked in the private sector, and every time I just come back to how important public service is. And how important when government functions and functions well, how meaningful it is to deliver for communities and the things that we care about. And so as I assume this role at DEC, working for the best agency in the state, which I will stand behind every day, it is just such an honor to be able to serve, right, and to play this role. And we have so many incredible, dedicated public servants here at DEC, and it is really just an honor to be alongside everybody to have this super great job to continue to fight for New York's environment and our natural resources.
And we're lucky to have you.
I'm, happy to be here. I don't always have this froggy voice for the listener.
Well, we'll definitely be sure to have you back on the show, Amanda, as you, venture on in your tenure here at DEC and really help steward what I consider the best agency in the country for environmental protection overall, too. But,
I did run an agency at the federal level, and I did refer to them as the best agency in the federal government. So I'm just, in case any of my former team members at BOEM are listening,
you've got to love all the experts in this field. It's all good. Well, Amanda, thanks so much for being on the show today and letting us introduce you to the team and the wonderful podcast listeners that we have. And we'll let you get back to fighting and defending and leading in the ways that we have to during these difficult times. And we've got a lot of hard work ahead of us, and it's great to have you at the helm here helping to steward our natural resources here in the state.
Thank you so much, Sean and Erica. Thanks for this awesome podcast that you do. You both are your expert.
We have a little fun from time to time.
Yeah, once in a while.
Thanks for being on.
Thank you so much.
Wow, Erica, what a great interview with our new acting commissioner here at DEC.
I know. I think it'll help folks really get to know her.
I think so, too. And it's great to have her at the helm of this agency and really help steward us into the next phase of our conservation work across the state.
Captain, my captain.
Exactly. And speaking of conservation work across the state, we did talk about it being Earth Week, but importantly, it is also Arbor Day in New York State.
That's right.
We have, the governor has us on a 25 million tree goal that we are marching towards day in and day out. How are some ways that people can help us reach that goal?
Well, we are encouraging folks to plant trees and then record all the trees that they've planted on our new tree tracker.
Tree tracker.
Just go to dec.ny.gov, check out the tree tracker. You can enter the number of trees you planted, where you planted. You can send in photos if you like. It's a super cool way to participate in helping New York achieve the goal, 25 million by 2033.
And don't forget to check out our seedling sale information on our website, where you can also buy the seedlings that you can plant in your backyard or in your community as well, and help us reach that really important goal.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. So I know the commissioner talked about our infrastructure investments in water quality, and we have an exciting one that we recently announced. Erica, can you tell us a little bit about what we're doing in Mount Vernon?
We achieved some pretty significant milestones. Top among those is the completion of work on the 3rd Street sewer project. This is a new underground pumping station that originally was this tented area in the middle of a residential street that people had to work around. So that is a big improvement for that community. We've got 400 linear feet of sewer piping down on 3rd Street. We've added an emergency generator in case there are problems with that system. So that is going to help mitigate flooding in that community and prevent sewage backups that have plagued this community for decades. So that's a really cool bit of progress there. We've also done about 70 miles of cleaning out sewers, 10 miles of sewer repairs, and critically, we have reduced sewer backups into people's homes by 90%.
That's amazing.
I know.
A lot of times people don't think about this infrastructure that supports us every day, right? And
right, it's just stuff that's there.
Exactly. And that's why the investments that the governor's making through the Clean Water Infrastructure Act and really making sure that we're leveraging the Bond Act, we are truly transforming communities and modernizing these communities and protecting clean water in the process. So such great progress. Definitely check out dec.ny.gov for more information on that project in particular and all the ways that we're helping communities across the state really achieve clean water. So, Erica, I know spring is upon us. It's Earth Week, it's Arbor Day, but it's also bear season in the state as well.
Yeah, so the bears are coming out of their dens. And what that means for New Yorkers is it's time to clean out your grills, put your trash cans away, don't feed your pets outside, just remove what we call bear attractants. From the environment.
Great tips, Erica, for obviously being BearWise, and we have a lot of information on our website about other steps that you can take to make sure that we were living in harmony with bears and not creating attractions for where they can become potentially an issue for people and communities across the state. So
don't feed the bears.
Exactly, and check out dec.ny.gov for more of that information. But lastly, Erica, and most exciting for me, it is fishing season here in the state, and we've got a lot of seasons that are open now. So definitely encourage folks to get offline, get outside. If you haven't tried fishing, we've got a lot of fishing clinics that are coming up. There's more information on our website where you can find out all the great fishing opportunities that New York State has to offer and how you can try out angling if you've never tried it before.
It's the best.
I look forward to get you out on the boat this summer too, Erica.
Ooh, let's do it.
It should be fun.
Awesome.
But in the meantime, keep listening to our show. Check out dec.ny.gov for more of the news and information of all the stuff we're working on. Please continue to email us at contact@dec.ny.gov. Thank you all so much for listening, and we look forward to an awesome season coming up. And most importantly, Erica, what can everyone do?
Get outside.
DEC Does What is a production of DEC's Division of Communication, Education, and Engagement. Our theme music is an original composition by Mike Menza, Environmental Program Specialist with DEC's Division of Fish and Wildlife. Like what you heard on this episode? Please leave a review and share this episode with others. Want to learn more about DEC's wide-ranging efforts to protect New Yorkers and the environment? Visit dec.ny.gov or connect with us on social media. You can find us using @NYSDEC. For more information on DEC Does What, visit dec.ny.gov/podcast.